Greetings, YouTube. This is the Garage Autonomist. As you can see from the title of this video, this is the early morning ramble. Just some couple of things that are on my mind. I woke up like around 4:45 this morning. I went to bed around 8 or so. No, it was a little bit later than that. I think about 10. Went to bed about 10 last night. My oldest daughter had a dinner party / sleepover. So it was, the deal. The kids got the front part of the house, and I and I had the back part. And after I ate dinner and stuff like that, and half watched Repo Man for the 1000th time in my life. Actually, I'm going to be watching it today with my daughter because she's never seen it before. So so it'll be fun to watch it. But I fell asleep on it. It doesn't matter. When I was watching it by myself yesterday, I fell asleep on it. And that movie just reminds me. It always reminds me of my teen years to some degree, except there were no FBI UFO chasing people. I was in a Repo Man. Cook. Yeah, actually, fuck that comparison. There's like no comparison. Anyway, so I decided like around 5:30 to head out the house and go on a walk. And on the very last leg of the walk, when I was getting back, I noticed that BigJxxx had just posted a video. And the video was about Sandman and the BWGTOW, or the Black Women Going Their Own Way movement. And I use the word movement very loosely, since movements often have the goal of doing a major outreach. And in order to do a major outreach of any kind, you need to be out there in the real world, not just in the virtual world. So when I saw that he made a video regarding Sandman, now Sandman is a very well-known YouTuber. He is also a MGTOW, one of the first, or one of the most just well-known MGTOW YouTubers out there. I've actually listened to Sandman's videos literally for a solid year, about 2 years before I even started this channel. Not because I was a follower, but because I actually like really simple channels. They don't go into a lot of high video production or live action and all that stuff. But is there something about his channel that was very simple, but at the same time, he had things to say that I found were interesting. Again, wasn't agreeing with them, but just interesting in terms of his viewpoints. So for a while, yeah, I was listening to him a lot, more like a study, if anything. First thing you take away from Sandman is, for someone who's supposed to be MGTOW and going his own way, he pretty much makes his YouTube fame off of talking about nothing but women. And as I've said a million times over, if I had ever became a MGTOW myself, I think the last thing anyone would ever hear me talk about would be women. I would be talking about hobbies and shit that I'm into. I'm sorry, that's just the truth. But let me get on to my main point here, at least about Big J's last 2 videos. The videos that he just made, and they were just this morning, because right after the Sandman video, he made another one about the BWGTOW movement, but this time from the perspective of another non-Black person. And that's what kind of bothered me about both of these videos. Now, BigJxxx, I may never agree with you on the BWGTOW movement. As I've said before, I have my own, my own opinions about them, but I will never, most likely will never be public about them. But, you have your own weight, in terms of what you have to say about this movement. I don't know why you always feel like you need to highlight when non-black people have anything to say about this movement, or really anything that any black people do that you may not like. Why the fuck do you think Sandman's opinions about the BWGTOW movement holds any weight? I have no idea. I heard what he had to say. I didn't hear anything any different from what you've had to say, except I would rather hear what you have to say, simply because you're actually from the black community. He's not fucking Canada. Like, really? What the fuck would he have anything to say about it? I mean, it doesn't mean he doesn't have a right to an opinion. Of course he does. He has a right to express it. But I'm just saying, like, yeah, why highlight their viewpoint? And then the other video was about Mel B and what she thinks. Fucking Mel B is not a well-known YouTuber, just as a side note. Mel B is actually the YouTube pretend girlfriend of that loser Hardcore Tito, the woman hater of Chicago. Hardcore Tito, who can't, it was actually about as inarticulate as Mel B, if that's possible. Actually, she's more inarticulate than Hardcore Tito, if that's fucking possible. I listened to her. I tried to get through her video. It was a suffering thing to have to do. Hearing this woman who's from Scotland talk about the black women going their own way movement as if, it had anything to do with her. Again, there was nothing that BigJxxx can't say on his own that Mel B that Mel B had said. Like, she really lent nothing to the conversation. She's not even from the black community. It's like, really? I mean, and the thing is, like, I mean, and don't get me wrong, I did not think that she was inarticulate because of her accent or because she's a working class. I'm going to assume working class Scottish woman. I've watched movies and television shows from the UK since I was 9. So it wasn't like anything off-putting. It had nothing to do with her accent. It had everything to do with the fact that this woman cannot speak. She really cannot. And I was just going like, oh my God, what the fuck are you even saying? Like, shut up. Like, it was just ridiculous. Blech. So that's all I got to say, Big J, man, is you don't need non-black people to make a point that you've already made before. That's not going to make these movements, or when black people do things you don't like, go away. They're not going to disappear. Because of that. Like, the BWGTOW movement is going to be a BWGTOW online movement is going to be around even after the Mel B video is forgotten, which quite frankly will be very soon, because again, who really gives a flying fuck what Mel B thinks about anything? And I'm not going to go into what I really think about Mel B, because I have some suspicions about her in terms of if she was actually born a woman. Was that right to say? It probably wasn't. Actually, it wasn't right to say. I take that back. Mel B just sucks. Anyway, now thinking about Sandman made me think about all the different things different sectors on YouTube that I had come to listen to and experience before I ultimately made this channel. And then after that thought, I realized, holy shit, in 2 months, this channel will be 1 year old. I remember making this account, Garage Autonomist, in October, but I didn't really make the first video until late November. It was a little bit after uh, Thanksgiving, and oh no, I think it was before Thanksgiving. Yeah, fuck it, I can't remember. It was either before, a little bit before Thanksgiving, or after the death of my father-in-law, or it could have been both. No, it was both. That's right. He died, and then 2 days later was Thanksgiving. Right. So then I said, fuck it, I'm gonna go ahead and make a channel, make a video. So that's what happened. I remember that now. And it will be a year in late November when this year that this channel will be a year old. Can you believe it? And I am what, up to something like 120 videos, I think. I'm forgetting now. How am I forgetting? I have no idea. Over 120 something videos. And I think that if I were to take down all of my mirror videos, it just videos that I mirror, and even then, if what I usually do that too when I start to hit a landmark number. The videos, especially the mirror videos that didn't get a lot of traffic or whatever, I just go ahead and make them private, and I take them down just to get a better grip on the original content and and how many videos I make of original content. And it's still going to be over something like 115, 118 videos. I can't believe I made that many in this short amount of time. So I'm really proud about that. And I'm really proud about this channel, to be honest with you. So, Now, let's see here. I don't know why I chose the YouTube Hangout format. I always do that when I do these solo streams, when I should just go ahead and just do the regular live stream. I guess because if by some off chance people want to just join in on the chat, they can. But I normally don't like to stay on for that long. Like a whole hour or so or something like that. And I certainly don't want to get it to where people start to get into the chat almost closer to the time I'm about to get off. And then, I cheated them out of having their word. But you know the deal. So you're probably saying, well, if this is writer's block, what are you trying to write? You got up obviously this morning and you wanted to write, and that's not what happened. So you went out and went on a walk. There are two different things. There's writing for this channel, and then there's writing for my book, my novel. And I couldn't do either. Of course, the episode that I'm trying to write or do want to write is some finishing parts of the part 2 to Who Are the Pro-Blacks. As you know, the upcoming one is going to be titled Their Malcolm and Ours, about Malcolm X and his viewpoints later in life. It took a lot of time for me to look for some of the things where he changed on his viewpoints. And I've talked about this before, but I would have rather had an actual audio clip. I knew that there was not going to be any video clip, but I knew there would be audio clips, or should have been audio clips, of the later speeches where he talks about capitalism, where he talks about imperialism. But instead, I only have these speeches that are transcribed, and even then they're in book form. And I knew it was going to be a big problem, but all the time that has passed with me trying to find actual media to reflect his new viewpoints, I wasted on actually just digging in my book boxes and just bringing out those speeches and passages from those speeches and just simply scanning them to OCR just to make them into slides. I should have just done that, really. So now it's getting too late. I just don't want to get into the point to where people would have forgotten that I was doing this series, or worse, that I would forget. And I would wind up doing a whole nother video about something else. So I don't know. Uh, now that I'm thinking about the BWGTOW movement, I guess, it's not like it is if the movement, and I didn't really mean for it to sound like a side swipe at them because I said they were a quote unquote movement. I'm just trying to tell you from the perspective of an activist that, they're not really a movement. They're just an online community, if anything. But who knows? One day they might be bigger than that or go beyond the internet. Right. But we'll see about that. In the meantime, that's what I wanted to talk about. Something else that just bothers me. So a troll by the name of Black Cherubim, who is very well known in the Black sector, but he doesn't make videos. He's, of course, like most of the males of the sector, he's talentless. He has no real life and no real aspirations or anything like that. He Someone sent me a screen capture of him in someone else's chat room threatening to flag videos of mine. I went on ahead and posted in his comment section, although I realized it didn't do any good because this guy actually blocked me almost a year ago. I mean, it's funny how somebody who comes off like he's so tough or he's like the Joker of the sector or whatever, man, is not unfriendly with the block button. So I posted in his comment section that one, my channel is unflaggable. I mean, in terms of, I don't need to put comment up. I don't make racist comments. I don't make sexist comments or homophobic comments. The music that is copyrighted or video material that's copyrighted, it gets the little ad thing in there. If it happens, if it doesn't happen, it only appears for small little segments. So I can't get flagged for copyright. Sorry, try again. And also make sure that the category of the videos are selected for entertainment. Now, this will not stop a company from still wanting to say, you're showing our copyrighted material and we're going to flag the video. That's fine, because unlike a lot of people, I actually have a system where when I make a video, it's still in its raw form until I decide after a month or so it's been uploaded. I might go ahead and delete the original raw video. But if it ever gets flagged, I can always go back and just take out the song and re-edit it without it being a silenced video, which is what YouTube also does. They just kill the soundtrack in something. It's like the dumbest fucking thing ever, and then they just do whatever. I might keep the raw video where I could still just take out the track or the song or the music or the movie clip and then just re-upload it to where, I don't have to do a major butchering job to kill it. And if it is indeed a video where I no longer have the raw production file, then I can always just go back in and do something else. Like I keep the audio tracks of some of the videos as well and just replace it. So if anyone has any cute ideas about doing some stuff like that, just know that I'm going to bounce back. I'm not going to be sitting there crying at a victory. It doesn't work that way. Unlike, again, sector males, I'm actually organized and I actually know what I'm doing. So go ahead and try Black Cherubim to flag any of my videos. It'll be interesting to see you try to do it. But like most males in the sector, you are a failure in life. You are a failure in everything you do, and you will fail fucking with me. All right, so I think that's really all I wanted to do is this little ramble. BigJxxx, I think that what you have to say about the BWGTOW movement, is enough. You don't need white people to help you. Sorry, it's just true. And just stop doing that. I saw you pull that shit with Cat Smith a while back. Well, it wasn't just you though. I'm not gonna just put it all on you. It wasn't just you. You know, when Cat Smith, I mean, I think that's one of the other things that got her to be really popular as a channel was when she made that really uh disgustingly condescending video where you knew she was aiming at black women, but without saying black women, where she was basically letting the triflingness of men off the hook by then putting it all on women and saying, why aren't y'all making better choices? It's like, yes, sure, they should be making better choices, but at the same time, you're taking men off the hook. And all you dudes, all the men of color, all the black men, was like all up in this chick's ass, Cat Smith's ass, at the time that she was on YouTube, because she's no longer on YouTube. You know, y'all were loving her for that. And it's like, really? And, you know, again, Big J, she wasn't really saying anything that you haven't already been saying. But do you not see your own pattern here? It's like you literally are taking people just because they're white and they have the same viewpoints you have. You're making it seem like they are lending a more legitimate weight to it. Psst, that's just fucking wrong. Somebody said, had sent me an inbox 2 weeks ago and asked me why I'm not doing any more. Why am I not doing any more serious videos? I don't know if I agree with that. I think the majority of what I do is serious. I do like to put humor in some of my things when I feel like it's called for. So I mean, you know, maybe I don't know what they're referring to really. I did try to ask them that, and they never answered me back. And that was, like I said, that was 2 weeks ago. Anyway, y'all, so hopefully the part 2 to Who Are the Pro Blacks will be out by Thursday, this coming Thursday. My schedule with, you know, after now the both girls are now in school, so some of that stuff with, like, you know, you do, like, you have, usually that first week is not going to go smoothly if you have kids and they start school. Well, with the oldest daughter, there's nothing we need to worry about, but the youngest one, you know, she's got after school stuff that hasn't started yet, so there's a lot of that, you know, my wife and I exchanging, you know, who's picking her up after school ends and that kind of thing, because she doesn't have the after school stuff. She didn't have the after school stuff set up like it was last year. Last week it wasn't set up yet. So, you know, this week it will be. So hopefully things will be a lot more smoother for me in terms of getting back into my old production schedule. You know, there's a lot of things I'm realizing that I'm not able to do in terms of my time for this channel that have always been normal in the other parts of my life before doing this channel. So I'm realizing, okay, now I see, you know, the beginning of school, the end of school, then there's summer where my wife and I are really trying to spend more time with each other when both girls are usually away out of the state. So when that's happening, you know, so I realized, you know, I wanted to spend more time with my wife. And that's basically, you know, it wasn't like we had vacation or anything like that, or had time to do that this summer. So, you know, like where we could just be together. So we had like a bit of a work staycation together. So, but it was, if anything, it was just sort of reliving the way it was when we were younger, when there were no children. So, you know, we hook up after work and chill out, or go out to dinner, or make special dinners, because, you know, we don't have to deal with fucking kid diets, which is just so annoying. My wife and I are basically, we're more like pescatarians. Our youngest kid will eat anything, so she's fine. Like, she's very explorative eater. Our oldest one, really does have a legitimate mercury allergy, so she can't really eat a lot of shellfish or really a lot of anything that swims. It seems not everything, of course. I think regular white fleshed fish, she can eat that shit, but she just doesn't like it. But if it were up to my wife and I, we'd be eating fish every goddamn night. Like, believe that, we don't mind meat and all that, but really we like fish way, way more, way better. So anyway, I'm just, like I said, this is just a ramble. I apologize if I'm not going into anything too deep. Maybe I probably should, but it's just my brains are just scrambled eggs right now. Like I said, I woke up at 4:45 this morning after going to bed super early last night. But at the same time, I just could not get thoughts together intellectually to write or even or creatively to write. So fuck it. But at the same time, I just wanted to talk to YouTube and just give y'all an update and talk about shit and get on and scold BigJxxx basically. Like again, I don't agree with most of what you believe in, and I know it's vice versa, but I think your voice lends enough weight on certain subjects. You just don't need fucking Sandman and an idiot like Mel B to make something legitimate. Stop doing that. All right, y'all. Peace and have a wonderful rest of Sunday morning. I don't know if I'm even going to keep this video up because I honestly just had nothing to say. But fuck it. The shorter it is, the shorter it is, the more you might want to listen to it. All right, y'all. Peace. Later.